On June 12th, in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, Air India Flight 171, bound for London, climbed off runway 9 and vanished from radar in just 32 seconds later. The crash claimed the lives of 260 people, including 241 passengers and 19 on ground. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau (AAIB) has just released its preliminary findings on the crash. Let's explore this report to understand exactly how a momentary fuel cutoff turned a routine flight into a fatal disaster. The cockpit voice recorder (CVR) captured a stark moment. Pilot 1 said, "What happened to the fuel switches?" Pilot 2 replied, "I didn't move anything." But fuel pressure just collapsed. There was no raised voice, no accusatory tone, only mutual confusion. The brevity speaks volumes in a high stress environment. When both engines lost power, the air turbine, also called RAT, auto-deployed within 1.5 seconds, spinning at over 60,000 rpm to feed hydraulic systems and essential electronics. This tiny wind-driven propeller powers flight controls and standby instruments and emergency lighting. Unfortunately, it cannot generate enough thrust to maintain the climb. The CCTV from the airport confirmed the RAT's deployment. It's one layer of redundancy, but sadly couldn't restore the engine power. Investigators meticulously tested fuel samples, flap settings, and many other things. Like in fuel samples, there was no trace of water or contamination. Flap setting was confirmed at 15 degree, optimal for takeoff acceleration. Landing gear was retracted on schedule, and weather had clear skies. Visibility was over 10 kilometers. The plane was weighing around 210 tons and it was well within its limits. Every system check returned green, yet a perfect checklist couldn't foresee a dual engine outage caused by fuel switch anomaly. Both pilots held valid ratings issued by DGCA. Captain had 12,500 hours total flight experience, and the first officer had 9,800 hours of total flight experience. They both had 14 hours of rest before this flight. Both have done routine simulator training on engine failure drills, but unfortunately, those trainings yet do not have dual fuel cutoff scenario. Their professionalism and experience underscores that this wasn't a question of skill or fatigue. So now what happens next? The AIB has laid out a clear roadmap to dig deeper and ensure this never repeats. First, they will conduct an ergonomic review examining the cockpit layout to see how easily those fuel switches can move under different forces. Next, they will run simulator replay reconstructing the dual fuel cutoff scenario. So pilots can practice the response in procedures can be refined. They will also hold stakeholder interviews, bringing in the engineers from Boeing, GV Aviation, and DGCA officials to get every expert perspective on what went wrong and how to fix it. Finally, the AIB plans to issue a public safety bulletin with interim recommendations for all airlines operating the 787 Dreamliner. The measures taken in the coming weeks could fundamentally reshape how airlines train crew and design cockpits, ensuring the skies remain as safe as humanly possible. The families of the 260 victims are still waiting for answers, and regulators around the globe will be watching every finding. Will we see physical guards added to the fuel switches? Will pilot training now include this rare but critical scenario? This tragedy reminds us that even the most advanced aircraft depend on tiny mechanical components, and that safety demands perpetual vigilance. If this analysis helped you understand what really went wrong, then please hit like and subscribe. Also share your thoughts and questions below in comment box. Until next time, fly safe and stay informed.